Right then, welcome back to Breakfast Central on News Central. Quite busy with Vimbai and Tunde when it comes to sports. Lots to look forward to this weekend. So you want to catch in the game later today, 10:30 a.m. with Tunde and Inamdi. They've got all that covered for you. Meanwhile, though, you can still reach us right here on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Watch us live on YouTube. And also log on to the website, www.newscentral.africa. But to join the conversation right here, it's quite simple. #NC Breakfast Central. Let's go straight to some Food Friday. I'm not sure I'm going to call this really food. Yeah, all part of food. Yeah, so it's all consumption, basically. So today we're talking about the typical consumption of, drinks, which many consume, however, with a twist, and it's called craft beer. Right, craft beers are different to your regular beers as they are brewed by micro-breweries. Well, in Africa, you think of some home-brewed beer and you think about ingredients like sorghum, maize, cassava root, hibiscus, and others, saccharin, for us in Nigeria here. According to Western paradigm, the basic hops building blocks for beers is like your hops, your water, your barley, and your yeast. But this is quite different. And to really make sense of it all, I'm joined by Abiola Shitta from Igbandun Brewing Company, who's going to tell us more about craft beer. Well, Abiola, welcome to the show. I think you've got the Igbandun shirts ringing. So tell us what this is African craft beer. Right. Yeah, this is Nigerian, clearly a homegrown. Why craft beer?
Well, I think when you look at the current product offering that's available in the beer space, all of these products tend to converge on a very similar product.
Lager.
Exactly. Very light lager, and then you throw in a stout every now and then. So the thing is, we now looked at that and we now said, okay, can we do something different, right? We have a lot of wonderful ingredients in this country, so many things we can use to make beer. So we now decided, let's try and see what we can do with that. So that's how we started.
And is there how many brands of this craft beer? How many products of this craft beer? Like this one there. This is clearly one of your craft beer. There's the signature one?
Yeah, I would call it a signature one. So yeah, we have the golden wheat ale, which is likely what's that in that picture.
Okay, so it looks like ale.
Yes, yes. So yeah, the golden wheat ale is simply a wheat-based beer.
Yeah.
We now added a bit of roasted grains to kind of give it a bit more of a rich flavor, but it's not so light, but it's not so dark also and too heavy.
So basically, this is African ale. Unlike your normal pale ale, you get in, UK and Scotland, and so this is basically to 100% Nigeria, 100% Africa, 100% homegrown, 100% brewed at Igbandun Breweries. So tell us more about Igbandun Breweries.
So our brewery is in Lekki Phase 1. It's a fairly small space. We're doing the best we can with the space that we have, but we're using all locally sourced ingredients. So things that you can go and buy in the market, that's all we're using to make the beer. Nothing imported, nothing from outside. It's only things here in this country that we're using to make it.
So how do you source these ingredients? Just basically the market, or do you have to go to the farm somehow, distributors getting them?
Yeah, at this point, we're doing more than fine with just going to the market and getting the things there. Luckily, the thing is, we have great people that know their ingredients, they know how to make them fairly well, and we just go to them and get it. And
so how many brands of your brew do you have? Can you say you have for Igbandun?
Yeah, so like I was mentioning before, we have the golden wheat ale. That's one. We now have a ginger wheat ale.
Ginger wheat ale.
Then what we have here for the sample is our honey wine.
Honey wine.
Honey wine, yes. And then the other product we have is a non-alcoholic malt drink.
Malt drink.
Yeah.
Okay, so that now has malt barley into it, right?
No barley. Everything we brew has only wheat.
Only wheat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So what's the process like, to get them brewed,
Yeah, so the process from start to finish takes about 3 weeks.
About the soaking.
Yeah. Okay. So that part actually is a bit longer and a bit before, but that may also add another week.
Yeah.
That's to prep the grains to make them ready for the process.
Yeah.
But once that's done, then we do the fermentation. That now converts all of the sugars to alcohol. That takes about 1 week. Then we have another week for like carbonation to kind of give it, that foam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then another week to kind of just let it sit and age and relax before we now finally have it ready to drink.
Process, and taking out all the ingredients, and bottling and packaging. Speaking about bottling, you've got quite a very interesting, really ale-like stuff. Look at something I could get somewhere, in a village in Shrewsbury. All right, but how has the market been for Igbandun's, craft beers?
The reception has been pretty much nothing but positive. I think it's very clear that Nigerians are ready for a new product, a different beer product that is just showcasing something other than what has been the convention.
Yeah, so the Nigerian market has, accepted this?
Very much so, yes. And the name also kind of helps, Igbandun, being about fun, good times and all that. Yeah, people respond to it very well.
All right. If it's, accepted in the market, what about competition? Because you've got the big, you got the big distillers, you got the big breweries, to mention names, the Diageo, Nigerian breweries, and they also they brew. They also package for foreign brews, foreign brands, German brands, Dutch brands. So there's a lot in this market. So how do you then compete?
Right, kind of like I was saying, it's just that the fact that we're offering something different. And the variety of product offerings that we have also make it appealing and interesting for people to just try something and kind of see what they like. So what we found is that people that aren't conventional beer drinkers try our product and like, well, okay, I can drink this. This is something that I can do. So we're bringing in people that also probably aren't conventional beer drinkers, showing them that they're different products and something they can try, and that's kind of helping us be distinct. I think that's our strength, is being distinct and different.
Yeah, distinct is one thing, with brew and alcohol, basically. Advertising is another thing, because you have the big money players. They will splash it to you at watershed time, beyond watershed time, you get them. So how would Igbandun Breweries with your brands really break into this market? Because it's advertising is a heavy budget. So what plans are they already for Igbandun?
Well, we're taking it one step at a time. We're a very small organization, and we're just really trying to get our legs right now. Right now, we're just trying to find out, okay, these things that we're brewing, right? Are people responding positive to them? What do we need to do to kind of get sufficient interest? And
so you want them to taste it.
Exactly.
Rather than, see it splash.
Yeah, exactly.
First.
Yeah, throwing pictures and all that isn't really going to do it. It needs to be one-on-one interactions with people, and then they know.
How about social media?
Yeah, we've started. We've started on social media. We're getting the ball rolling on that too. So that's another approach.
Let's talk about Sorghum, because it has been one of the brew beer in Africa for far back. Lots of people have ideas about Sorghum. But if you were to give your opinion on that material ingredients for brew, what would you say about it?
Yeah, I think it's a good one. I think it can be used. It's one of the grains we're experimenting with also to try and see what we can do. But it has its own unique challenges and its own things that you need to kind of deal with in order to make it come out right. So we're still working on that, and when we get around to it, we'll eventually come up with something that uses sorghum.
I think so, if I'm not mistaken, growing up back in the day, even till now, there's a song, Unkumkomboti, I think it has lots of sorghum. I'm not sure the ingredients. So back in South Africa, we thought, that's like homegrown African beer with the roots, the song, the lyrics, and that's also part of sorghum. So you think almost every African craft beer will have that ingredient in it. But I'm surprised that, you're still experimenting with.
Yeah. I think, like I said, it has its unique challenges, and that's the thing. We want to make a product that is of international standard, that people can hold up and say, this is decent.
Have you had a taste of other African local alcoholic brew in other regions of the continent?
Not so much. I mean, like when you talk about like local, like brukutu type of beverages, those sorts of things. Yeah. But that's the point. Is like we're trying to go up a bit above that and make it something that is just a bit better. Because all those processes, they can be improved. They can make a much nicer product if you pay attention to the details.
Let's talk about regulation. Especially for the small players in the market. I don't want to call you a small player, but emerging players in the market like Igbandun coming in. You've got the big brands, the breweries, and you also got people like NAFDAC. I think that's just what the regulatory body is. How about regulation and your relationship with the authorities?
It's been mixed. I think because of what we're doing and how unique it is, it's been challenging to kind of get them to understand how to categorize us. When they think of breweries, right, there's only a certain type of thing they have in mind, and it's a certain scale, and it's a certain product, and it looks a certain way. But then when we came and we said, okay, this is how we do it, we do it like this, we're small, and it was very difficult for them to process. So like they've had challenges with just trying to understand what we're doing.
Why is that? Is that a technicality problem within their ranks?
True. Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult for them to understand and categorize. So because the thing is, it's like, okay, if you're a brewery, right? They'll say, oh, you're producing this much. In order to do that, you need to have these certain things in place.
Okay.
But the thing
so
is,
it's not a problem with the product itself.
No.
That's approved. That's okay. Safe drinking.
Sure.
But in terms of what you are, that's the categorization.
Right. That's the issue. Yeah.
So where do we bridge the gap? With this one, because only from then on that you can really give the confidence to Nigerians to say, okay, this is good, this is approved, this is in fact this is for international standards. This should be consumed more. No problem whatsoever with this.
Yeah, we're still working on it with them. We're still trying to figure out how they can just be comfortable with what we're doing and make sure that it's categorized properly. I don't think there's an issue with the product itself. It's just the characterization
of the brewery.
Yes,
of
exactly.
The brewery category. All right, the beverages. Yes, beverage.
Yeah, it seems simple, but they have their own issues and rules.
All right. How long has the Igbandun Brewery been on now?
So I think we kind of started with the idea in 2016, but we really started with the sales this year. So this year was really the beginning of us actually going out there and really, making the sales.
All right. And your brewery is located somewhere in Lekki, right?
Lekki Phase 1.
Lekki Phase 1. Okay. Is it neighborhood living, brewery, or is it industrial scale? Because I've not visited there. I would have liked to see some images, within the factory, the brewery itself, and the environment. And perhaps the stuff you have to let out, the steam and all that. You don't have problems with vicinities, do you?
No. So the thing is, our brewery is very, very, very small.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. It's the same thing. People envision a brewery and they think it's like this large thing, but you'd be surprised. It's fairly small room.
Industrial, gas.
Not that deep. Not that deep. It's a fairly small room, and we're able to get it done in there. It's not that large.
All right. I think it's only fair if we do a sample, right? And this is what's signature of this one again? The honey.
Yes, this is our honey wine. Yes.
Honey wine.
Yes. So this is it's brewed a bit different.
Freshly, I can hear the pops.
Yeah. It's brewed a bit differently. So the thing is, the fermentation process may take up to a month.
Wow.
Just because this is like wine, and the thing is, the alcohol content is much higher.
Okay. So I think I'm just gonna have a
go for it.
Nose it. So I can. Yeah. There's something natural in there. Honey, take a lot of honey, and so it has. There's an aroma that comes with it, which should. Okay, this is clearly fermented alcohol. All right, so I think we'll cheers first.
Cheers.
Okay, and first sip. Brilliant. Clearly honey.
Yeah.
Clearly alcoholic. Clearly sweet. And it lingers. All right, so I think I just have a go with this one. Oh my gosh. Okay, now with the gulp, it goes down. So it doesn't really foam like your regular, like your other brands, like your ale, which I saw in the picture.
Right.
Doesn't really foam. This is basically for outdoor, indoors, anyone can have as long as you're above 18. Basically, we have to stress that. All right. Well, thank you so much, Abiola Shitta from Igbandun Breweries. Might as well just come to the factory and see how it's all, processed and done. Well, talk about the Foodie Friday. Well, that's a beverage for you to go with a side, perhaps fish or some fries, if you may.